Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Working Trader, where we look at the Euro USD and GBPUSD and come up with trade ideas for the day, if there are any. So let's jump right into Forex Factory. Today's a Friday, and we have only retail sales for the GBP as high impact news. Okay. Obviously, with everything going on in the world at the moment, at any point during the day, the high impact news can just drop. Okay, and you just see the market reacting. Okay, so let's look at the chart and let's see. So yesterday we had a bearish day. Obviously, price is coming off from this supply. Overall, we've been bearish. Okay, we've broken structure, both internal and external, or internal and swing, and then mitigated this demand, and then price has been reacting, coming back into this supply, which was the decision out that led to the break of this swing structure. And since then we've been reacting bearish, albeit slowly. So that's that for the Euro USD, and then we'll jump into the details on the lower time frames. For the pound, it's the same or similar. We've been in this pullback phase. We came in, we mitigated this area of demand, had a reaction, came back again, had a deeper mitigation, and we've come back into this fractal supply that led to the break of this internal structure. Okay, and now we've been reacting from it as well. Okay, however, from a swing perspective, the daily is still bullish on the pound. Looking at the 4-hour on the Euro USD and looking at the current range that we're in, because we just need to focus on current price action. This is the range we're in. Boom. So we had our last internal break of structure and swing break of structure, which have been bearish into this area of daily demand and 4-hour demand as well. And since then we've been reacting bullish, and internal has been bullish since that point. Now we've come up to the extreme of the range. Okay, mitigated and respected the supply area at the top of the range, and since then we've been pushing down, and then now we've mitigated this demand that we have. Okay, filled this imbalance, and let me make this clean. So we've filled up, we filled this imbalance right here, and then we still continued lower, and so we expect deeper mitigation of this zone. So if we look at it, I can say we do have this week, which is where price has now reached and mitigated. Okay, so this is what we're seeing on the 4-hour. Okay, so price is in this lower range of the week. Okay, of this large week. Okay, even from that bullish push, we didn't have a close until price retraced and then came up, made a lower low. Okay, lower than this high that was made. So we could anticipate that probably price will continue bearish. Okay, price could continue bearish and possibly take out maybe this low. Okay, maybe target that low, who knows. So looking at the 15-minute, this is what we have. Let me make sure everything is visible. So this is our range high and range low on the 4-hour as viewed on the 15-minute. Okay, So we did have a swing break of structure, and then this was the last push down, okay, internally, where we had this break. And so when price came up, we broke structure, and then since then we've been breaking structure up and down. Came up, pushed down, broke structure, and then eventually came up, broke structure, and then now we've broken structure again. And then since then we are respecting these highs, and price is slowly retracing. Okay, slowly retracing. So this is my internal strong, this is my internal weak, and we're coming off from 15 swing strong, which is a high, and possibly we could be targeting the swing weak low. So however, at this point, if I look at the swing range on the 15 minutes, if I look at the swing range on the 15 minute, let me do it this way. Okay, so now on the swing range, we have just come into discount. Okay, mitigated equilibrium, and we've come into discount. So only pure high that we have available is this one at the extreme of the internal range. Okay, and then all of these other areas, we could view them as possible areas of liquidity. Okay, that could be taken. So here we do have trend line liquidity right there. So that could be targeted. Okay. So looking for shorts would be pro swing. Okay, pro swing. Now looking at the internal is bullish. So the internal is bullish, and we have resting liquidity right there. And then you can look, price has been slowly, like the push down is not as convincing. Right, so right now I don't think I have a clear trend line, do I? No, it doesn't look like a clear trend line. Okay. Okay. But this is what we see. So let's look at the details. Let's look at the details. Let's zoom in. Boom. Okay. So we're this area, this low, which I was saying once that's taken, then we could start looking for a long trade. And there was a reaction here for a long trade, so you would have gotten your 3-hour trade. Okay, and then out of the blue at 8 o'clock, price just had a quick spike, which is what I'm saying. There's high impact news outside of the high impact news that's coming out on Forex Factory because of the world events. Okay. So now this is what we're seeing. So we're this low that was liquidated. We had break of structure right there. Boom, another break, came lower. We had another break. This is a high. And then we have another break. Boom, we've swept this high. Alright, and then we're still maintaining this range. So the way you could look at it is, so what happened here? So this was a break, and then this was the high, and then let's just barely made a low. Okay, and then that's come up and made a sweep of that high. However, it has not made a lower low. Okay, it's not made a lower low. And then sweep came down, and then Asia we are pushing up. So Asia is breaking structure to the upside. Okay, so we do kind of have a bullish trend. Okay. So we broke low, broke high, and now we're inside the middle of the range. Okay. So right now, it's not as clear. So the best bet would be waiting for this demand to be mitigated. Okay, at the extreme, and then maybe having a reaction from there. As it stands, price is within this range, so these are not high probability conditions, so we might just have to wait to see what happens. So on here there's nothing that's clear at the moment, so just set my alerts and wait and see, because this is the range high, range low, and price is just in the middle. Okay, so we have to wait for either price to break low, and then if it breaks low, and then if we manage to break low and actually mitigate maybe this area, then we'd have some confidence to look for longs. Okay, if it breaks high above this area, then we could look for lower time frame confirmations to then look for shots. Okay, that would be maybe what I'll be waiting for. And then let's see, so we do have let's see. Alright, so I could say we have this area. I'm just gonna make it like that. So that's already been mitigated. So that supply has already been mitigated. Okay. So we could say that's already been mitigated as well. Though we do still have an imbalance at the top. Okay. So do we have any trend line? Let's see. Not quite. Okay, so nothing there. And I could start from the top. Okay, if I start from the top, you can start to see, okay, maybe there is something. Okay, so there is potential liquidity at the top, right there. Then of course we do have the structure highs, New York high, London high, which are closely stacked together. Okay. Right, so right now we're just seeing liquidity building up. Okay, just seeing liquidity building up. So we just have to wait and see. Just have to wait and see what happens with price at the moment. Okay, so no trade idea for the Euro USD. So let's look at the pound. So most likely there won't be anything as well. In general, let's start at the 4 hour. So looking at the current range, let's see. So this is the current range, which is still being respected internally price is bullish, and then we are now within this range, and price is pulling back. And price is pulling back. And this is what we have. So price has come into the extreme. Okay, mitigated, having kind of a reaction, but we have these wicks, so you could expect price to come into this wicks. Okay, so we'll see what happens with those wicks. Okay, so price could come in lower because now we do have this level of trend line to target for each. Okay, that's definitely level trend line to target. So we could see price come down. Okay, price could easily come down, maybe sweep this, and then we'll have a reaction. Okay, so that's a possibility. However, right now we're internal to this range of this 4-hour candle. So let's obviously look at the 15-minute for more details. So our 15-minute swing, this is what we have. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, that's the range we're in on the 15-minute swing. So if we're looking to sell, that's pro swing and counter internal. And then so we have that break, internal is bullish. This was our last break of structure, and then since then price has been correctively coming down. Okay, so I'm aware that we have these areas of liquidity down there. We do have this trend line. So with all of this resting liquidity down here, at some point if price decides to shoot down, then all of this could be liquidated. Okay. So let's see. Now we do have this area where price had a strong push away from. So let me just mark this out. Okay. So this is what we have. So price had a strong push from that area. And that didn't lead to any serious structure break. Okay, so we had a sweep of these highs, and then from there price has been coming down. In terms of the range, where are we? So this was the last structure break. So this is our internal, which is bullish. Still waiting for a break of structure. And this is our internal low. Okay. So I'm going to mark this out. Let's see from right there. Boom. Boom. Okay, so price pushed up and then came down all the way into discount. Mitigated this area. So actually I think this I can bring it back here, and in this area that was mitigated, and then we had another strong push. Made a high, although we didn't close above. Okay, and then now price is coming back having respected the swing range, which is bearish. Okay, so we do have an imbalance. Okay, so we have this gap that needs to be filled, so price could continue to come down, maybe to mitigate this demand at the extreme of this range. Okay, so now we were saying that area was paid and it was taken, and then everything else has been liquidated. So price came up, swept all of these areas, okay, used all that liquidity, and then pushed down strongly, and then okay, so starting from here, so we swept. Okay, so so we're the low, we're the high, boom, broke structure, and then nothing happened there. Okay, price came down, all of that was trend line, and then all of that was swept, and then we're the high, and then we've come down lower. So now this is the range that price is in, okay, after this break of structure right there. Okay, so right now price is stuck in a range, so until we break that, or that, there may not be any reason to be interested in the markets, okay, because we don't have a clear direction. Okay, however, just following the order flow, all right, even for the euro USD, just following order flow, okay, you could be biased towards shorts, okay, just on the basis that we've mitigated the extreme of the range, okay, after the pullback, and swing structure we expect it to be stronger than internal. Okay, so because we've come to the extreme of the range after the pullback, and now price is internally breaking structure to the downside, so we could just be expecting price to continue to go down. Okay, and just follow the swing structure and the current order flow. Okay, so that could be a general bias to have. Okay, but in terms of clear areas right now to wait for or to look for positions, there's nothing clear. Okay, there's nothing clear. So maybe until we see price take out some kind of level, okay, maybe this highs, but hopefully this one, okay, once that's taken out, then maybe we can start looking for shots. Okay, if price takes out this, then we may have to continue until it mitigates this area, and then we start looking for longs. Okay, so not much in the way of trade ideas today, but this is what I'm looking at in general. So if you find value in this material, please don't forget to like, to subscribe, and to leave a comment, and let me know how you are applying this in your own trading as well. Other than that, have a good day and have a great weekend, and Working Trader out.